That's Damian Brennan from an album called Shamrock Shore. That's the Lonesome Boatman.
Proudly promoted here on our Back Chat show every Thursday night. We do this. It's all things local. From both far and home.
Thanks to Damian for that tonight. Thanks for taking the time to record on Easter Sunday with us. Fair play to you, Damian. Thank you very much.
What a tune.
And the best of luck with the album coming out. I know you've got people over here in Ireland and worldwide rooting for you, so we'll talk to you soon.
Very hard song.
We're gonna shut up talking, Ro, and we're gonna let Damian do his stuff, if that's alright with you.
Damian in 3, 2, 1, please join us.
Here we go. The show is an Irish-Canadian guy, Damian Brennan. Damian, thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Thanks, Mick.
How are you doing?
Doing grand.
Happy Easter to you.
It is a lovely, lovely sunny Easter over here in Canada, Vancouver.
As here.
Yeah.
So you have a new album out, Shamrock Shore. You've a lot to tell us about it, but you've also a lot to tell us about your past too. You are originally from Ireland. Tell us where you hail from and everything.
Well, I was born and raised in Belfast, and I moved out of there in '76 when the Troubles were really bad, down to Bray. So I went to school at Pres Bray, and
Pres.
Yeah, their rugby school, and educated there, and got in. I brought the traditional music with me, like I was really into the chieftains. I learned the tin whistle first, then the baron, then I got into guitar, and then I got sidetracked with rock and roll and the Beatles and everything. So I did the show band thing over there in Dublin, and then
excellent.
Then I ended up
any famous names you can name drop?
I met Van Morrison a few times. I'm a huge fan of his. He's a good friend of my brother's, who's also a musician in California. And I met him through, he opened up for Van a couple of times, so I got to meet him. And this is going way back in like the 80s. So, and yeah, I want to meet Paul McCartney, but I haven't, he won't answer my texts, so I've not.
I hate when that happens.
So, yeah.
So,
go ahead.
So you started you cut your teeth in Dublin, plying your trade.
Yep.
And what kind of audience did you have back then?
Well, like I said, I did all the cabaret stuff in the pubs, but then we got quite successful with a little band called Sold Out, and we did soul music. And this was just before that movie came out, The Commitments. So we were very, very similar to them. Like, we didn't have the girls in the band. There was just 4 guys, sax, drums, and guitar and bass. And then we started up playing around Greystones and Bray, and we did the stables and Greystones. And then we got into the Bag It In. We did that for a while until my immigration.
You made it when the Bag It In comes calling.
Yeah, we thought so. We thought it was great. Yeah. So then immigration finally got a hold of me and said, "You better come now or never." So much to the disgust of the rest of the band, I chose to come to Canada.
And what were you coming over to Canada to do? Did you have something lined up?
Well, there's 10 in our family, and a lot of the brothers were over here already, and they were like, well, one brother's in construction, so he said, I'll give you a job, and basically had a wife and baby then, and got on a plane and came out. We thought we better, it's now or never. Yeah, my dad says, I'll see you in 6 months, so 30 years later. So it was just the excitement. You know what, Ireland then, there wasn't a lot of work then, and you know, and this Canada thing was just eating at me. I just wanted to go and try it out, and it worked out great.
Yeah.
So
and you brought your music with you.
Brought the music with me. I started out in an Irish pub, playing every Sunday. So I had a day job, and I worked with my brother, and then I worked in an Irish bar, O'Hare's Pub, owned by an Irish guy, and that was started gigging almost right away, and I've been gigging every weekend since, I think.
And did you find the audience different from Ireland to how did they respond to your way? I suppose you brought the real Irish.
Well, actually, like I said, I played the tin whistle. No one, like, it seemed that they'd never seen that before in their lives. Were shocked. What is that thing you're playing? Is it a piccolo?
Really?
Things like that. And, and they pull out the bar and they're like, well, "Who are you?" But the North American idea of Irish music is different than what I'm the purist. Like I said, I'm into the Chieftains and all the trad stuff. But their idea of trad music is like the Black Little Band and all those pub songs.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I'm happy to do them if it makes people happy, right? They love those, so I do all that, and they throw in, like Christy Moore and stuff like that. I just tried everything I can get away with, but I ended up having to speed everything up. I noticed that people here want it faster. And it's not really like anyone from Ireland would probably string me up if they heard me do the songs the way I did them here.
Yeah.
But if I was gigging today, for example, but obviously there's no gigs right now, I would be doing the Foggy Do and things like that, and Easter stuff, Easter commemoration stuff. Yeah. And even then, it's not the same audience, in other words, but they're appreciative, but they just have a different view of how it's supposed to sound. And not to say that they don't, like, I've had gigs with a fiddle player, we've done like fiddle tunes and, Drowsy Maggie and stuff like that, and a lot of, again, Chieftain stuff, and they like it. You can see their toes tapping. They don't know what it is, but they like it.
Yeah, it sounds good and it feels good to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Excellent.
Yeah.
And so, when did you start recording, Damian?
I got into recording about. Well, I used to get other people. The album I did, Dear Irish Boy.
Yes.
I paid good money for that and went to a studio. But then with the price of equipment now is a lot cheaper. You can record at home. So exactly. I discovered this amazing software called Logic Pro. And it's recording industry standard recording stuff. So started getting into that, and it's gone awful cheap now. Like there was a time you could not afford it, and then it went down in price. And oh my god, I got to try this. So I started just trial and error, just doing simple recordings at home, and then I got better at it, and got better at mixing. So I built myself a home studio, and that's when it really started to take off. And thank God for YouTube, because I didn't go to engineering school or anything like that, and I wish I knew, like, I wish I was properly trained at it. So I just basically trial and error and YouTube how to do this and how, and this software, like, it does so much that I don't even know what it does. I just make it do what I needed to do for me. For like Shamrock Shore, I did all the instruments on it. I played piano, guitar, tin whistle, bar, and then I sang, and I learned how to do that as a project. So
brilliant.
I just learned from doing it.
Fair play to you.
Yeah, it's fun too. I enjoy it, so that makes it easier.
And the first album, how was that accepted? How was it received?
The first album was good because it was at the time, it was not long after Riverdance, and Riverdance put Ireland on the map in all over the world. After Riverdance, they couldn't get enough of it. They loved Irish music, and then all these Irish pubs, they started springing up all over the place. So like McDonald's, they're everywhere. And the, Riverdance really, the Michael Flatley days, just everyone wanted to hear Irish music, and then I started playing in all the Irish bars around Vancouver. I think I played all of them, and it was a great time. And gradually, that frenzy wore off, but they're still popular here. Irish pubs, so you can open one anywhere in the middle of the desert and probably do well. But Riverdance really put us on the map, and it was, watching it, it just makes you so proud. Like, especially when you're waiting home.
Yeah,
it does.
Well, I do remember seeing the first one when it was in Cork on the Eurovision, and when I seen that, it is goosebumps and hair raising. It's just So I can see why everybody wants a taste of that, and then for it to spread across the world like it did, brilliant. And then to help other musicians like you, then to grow with that, it was perfect timing, I suppose.
It was perfect timing, and I know they modernized the Irish dancing quite a bit to make it more friendly, like world friendlier. You know what I mean? They did certain of the I didn't take Irish dancing in school. I should have, but I know that the traditional Irish dance is a lot different from Riverdance. Riverdance is they've added a bit of flair to it, a bit more flair to make it more popular. But the work's great, and it's still the traditional dance, but in a more modern form.
I play in a cover band, and I play weddings when we can. We play weddings, and I would say out of the year you would have 3 or 4 weddings that will have a river dance theme to it, that people to get up and they do a bit of Irish dancing with a selected couple, so it's still huge, and it is a big thing. So a big influence on the world, I suppose.
Absolutely, like it's like put us on the map, and it's good, rightly so, because a lot of people didn't know before Riverdance, and unless you're into that kind of music, you wouldn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah.
So it really opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people, and all these little Irish bands start springing up in my locality in Vancouver.
And was that a good thing, Damien, for you, or was it kind of you're in on my patch, or you're
No, it was a great thing. I think good. I'm a big believer, and there's competition is great, and variety is great, and it just spreads the word more. I think it's good. I personally could not play the same gigs all the time. I'd get bored. I would. I liked variety. I liked going off doing like I could have played every week at the same places, and I did that actually, and I found it. People get sick of you. And I get sick of myself too. I just tired of doing it. Yeah. So I like to do like a 1 month here, like one gig once a month, another one here, just all. I did many little ones all over, and then like I did weddings too, and private events, and that mixes it up quite a bit, because you don't want to oversaturate yourself everywhere, because people will get tired of you, and like it just gets monotonous. It becomes like a job then, and I don't want it to be like a job. I love the music. I love performing live, and we have kind of a funny act as well. We kind of interact with the audience quite a bit too.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so we get that Irish humor out there, and Canadians are very reserved. They're lovely people, but I have to train them to get my humor. They don't have the crack, in other words.
Yeah, that's the word, isn't it? The crack. That's crack. It exactly. Yeah.
Do they still say that word?
They do. Oh yeah, a lot of the time in here, it's if you're not having the crack, you're just not having the fun, and that's what everyone needs to understand. We're not saying anything different. It can be interpreted a lot differently, can't it?
It can, yeah. Over here, especially, crack's a different thing.
So, Fallen was your first album, am I correct?
That was a little single I released.
It's a little single, sorry.
Yeah. So, it was inspired by me Mott. I don't know if you say that still too. Me Mott.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Is that word still used?
It's still used, yeah. Not as much, but still, the older generation would use it more so. But
I'm going to use it more now. Anyway, she's sitting right over here too.
Careful.
Yeah. So anyway, it was just a little romantic song. Kind of wanted to write her a song, so I did. And then, but I was working on the Shamrock Shore thing at the time too. But I have a day job as well, which keeps getting in the way of my music. So
it's terrible, that, isn't it? It's terrible.
So I work Monday to Friday. The good musician hours though, at like 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So you're off at 3. Do a gig afterwards if you have to. But in between, I take my day job seriously too. And so anyway, I was trying to get this album done in between working and life.
Life, exactly.
But actually, COVID happening gave me more time.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of musicians will say COVID was a curse and a godsend, because it really brought us back to basics and said, okay, global pandemic, what can we do? We can't do anything that we did before. But we could do a whole lot more, and we've totally revolutionized the way of thinking for a musician, and it's been brilliant. We can see on social media what's going on, and you have the time to sit down and concentrate on what you probably wanted to do for a while. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's opened the door, because you have to think outside the box. So, okay, I'm out about $3,000 a month from no gigs. So what do you do? So. Well, and people take up hobbies. People are taking up and using social media to think outside the box to do, online parties and things like that. I got into more writing. To be honest with you, I was gigging so much. I was just tired of, like, I'm a community support worker, so I work with special needs kids during the day. That's exhausting enough.
That is,
And then,
yeah.
And then, but very rewarding, but it's a day job. And then gigging 3-4 nights a week and driving into Vancouver. I lived outside, so about an hour and a half drive to Vancouver, and you're getting home at 2 a.m. and you're just burnt out. The last thing you want to do is play guitar or write songs. So when that all ended, my creative side started opening up. So, and then I've got a bunch of unfinished songs that I'm working on right now to put together into a new album, all original. But the reason why Shamrock Shore happened is because there's so many Irish songs I wanted to record from growing up, and I wanted to do a CD for my little brand new granddaughter, and I wanted to have some hand to her to keep and send back home to everybody back home as well. So the COVID did actually, it wrecked a lot of things, but it also opened up new avenues as well.
Okay. The new so Shamrock Shore, you have an original on that. Is this the song you're talking about?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. What's it called?
It's called After Clontarf. So I'm fascinated with Irish history and Brian Boru, and this is what it's about, Brian Boru. And it was originally, I just wanted to do some sort of soundtrack thing for a movie. I wanted to do something to send off to this. There's a place that wanted soundtrack for film. So I started up doing that, but I kept getting to this Viking thing and this Irish, that era of Irish history, so the 10th century, and fascinated with Ireland's history. So I thought, no, it's my little dedication to Brian Boru. And then by sheer accident, my girlfriend, she's a flight attendant, but she's not flying right now, again, due to COVID. So because of that, I was able to meet her, and turns out she's a great voiceover person. She has a great voice. Yeah. And so I got her to, I did my own voice on it, and I didn't like it. I didn't like my own voice on this. So I asked her to try it out, and it sounds great. So we put that together. It's a very short track. It's just a little extra. Yeah. But it's just a little tribute to Brian Boru and the Battle of Clontarf.
Ah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So we've a few classics on the album, but an original to listen out for.
Yeah.
You said you're working on a newer album as well.
Yes.
Yes.
So
have we anything to say about that, or is it still in the making?
Still in the making. It's about 15 songs that aren't finished, and they're just you know what? I have to figure out what genre it is yet, because it's definitely Irish folk. But like I said, I'm the youngest of 10, so I grew up with inheriting a bunch of Beatle albums. My parents listened to Dean Martin and Perry Como, and then I had the trad stuff. Everything's in my head. So
you've a mixed, jumbled up mixture that you want to put down.
Yeah, I might have to do two separate ones with different genres, because a lot of it's like really McCartney sounding. Like, where the hell did that come from? And then there's Christy. I'm a big Christy Moore fan, so there's a lot of it like that. So I might have to do two, or but I definitely want to keep the tin whistle in there and more bar on drum, and I might even bring a fiddle player in for it as well. So so it'll definitely be it'll be a folky one, but also like I said, I've listened to the Beatles. I'm a Beatle nut, so there's probably some McCartney influence in there as well.
Excellent. So what stage of kind of COVID is that in Canada? Will you be back out gigging ready soon, or no?
Well, what happened there recently was they kind of lifted the regulations a little bit, but then it spiked again. So now we're back.
Same as us here. Yeah. Seems to be a pattern that just keeps going. So
I got some musician friends still playing, but very, very limited. They're behind plexiglass screens, and they're being right now. You can only go on a patio in a bar, and only with your immediate family, and only spread out. So, and the musician has to be away over somewhere else. So it's kind of weird, but there's only a few people I know are playing right now. So everyone's recording and doing what I'm doing, just getting their creative side out.
Well, I will imagine in about a year we're gonna have an influx of music. We're just gonna be amazed with everything that's gonna come out in the next year. So
Yeah.
we'll look forward to that. At the minute, how can we get your album? We have a little link going across the bottom of the screen. Tell us.
Yeah. That little link it's called Share Now, but you can go on iTunes or what's the other one, Spotify, and it's on Amazon. It's even on YouTube. So you type in Damian Brennan, Damian.
Yep.
And you can find it there quite easily. But that little link just brings you directly to everything where you can listen to it for free, like listen to a sample, or you can download it, stream it. So I'm assuming everybody over there has the same issue, like Apple, iTunes. And
Yeah,
all that.
iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music. Yeah, so we should we should get it in the same
Oh
format.
yeah. I got my nephew and Bray to test it out. I said, hey, click on this and see if it works. He said, yeah, it works. So,
Brilliant, perfect.
yeah,
Excellent.
and yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll have a lot more fans from Ireland after this interview once it goes out. So hopefully so. Damian, thanks for talking to us today. I wish you the best of luck. Let us know about the newer album when it comes out. We'll definitely give you a plug and have you back on.
For sure. Thanks so much.
No problem. Great.
Hi to everybody in Ireland and Bray. If you remember me.
I'm sure they do. Damian. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon, all right?
All right, Mick. Cheers.
Thank you.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Bye-bye.
Son.
Dublin, the year 1014. Brian Boru, High King of Ireland, was victorious after the Battle of Clontarf against a massive Norse army led by Sigrid of Orkney. While praying in his tent, Brian was slain by a fleeing Viking by the name of Bruder. After the battle, Brian's body was taken to its final resting place in the city of Armagh. The Battle of Clontarf was an event in Irish history that broke Viking domination of Ireland forever. Brian Boru became a national hero of Ireland, and his legacy lives on.